The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar for all of our off-campus study ambassadors. We're happy to have you all here. Let me just make this big. So I'm Julie Lucas, and I am a campus outreach coordinator here at the ACM, and Katie Rose Brosnan is the other campus outreach coordinator. She'll be joining us in just a few minutes, but we want to welcome you all and give you a little bit of a training on what you'll be doing this next year as off-campus study ambassadors. So to start off, we'll be recording this. So for anyone who couldn't make it today, we will be uploading this to our Google site, which we'll share with you so anyone else can see it, or you can go back and watch it if you'd like. Please just keep your microphones muted while this is going on, just so we don't have any background noise, and then we can all kind of chat at the end as well. And this will be available in the next few days. And yeah, our goal is to have you out in 30 to 45 minutes. So this will be quick, and then you guys can get on with the rest of your days. So to start off, why don't we just have everyone who's logged on tell us a little bit about yourself, your college, the different programs you went on. I'm going ahead and unmuting you all. So Claudia, would you kind of like to start us off? Just tell us what college you're at, what program you did.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Claudia. I go to Lawrence University, and I went on the Fall India ACM program.
Thank you. Diana, looks like you're next.
Yeah, I'm Diana. I go to Knox College, and I did the ACM Costa Rica program fall term.
Okay. Gayatri, am I saying that right?
Yeah, my name's Gayatri. I go to Colorado College, and I was in Florence in the fall.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, Kyle?
Hi, I'm Kyle. I go to Knox College, and I went to Shanghai in the fall.
Shanghai, great. And then it looks like Eliza, are you on? It looks like you are, but maybe you're not. Okay, and then it looks like we have Megan Riley.
Yeah, I'm Megan, and I went to Tanzania.
Awesome. Great. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So I'm going to really quickly go over the Google site. So we'll be sharing this with you pretty soon, within the next week. Basically, it has a lot of information as far as being an off-campus study ambassador. If you have any questions after this webinar, that's a good way, like a good first place to look. There's different projects you can do, kind of like the frequently asked questions, and then the three main areas that you'd be working in. So those are communications, outreach and recruiting, and then ongoing projects. So we can just go to the Google site. We can just poke around a little bit, although I'll give you time once I send this to you. You can kind of look around, but basically here we have all three of the different kind of areas where we have the projects: communications, ongoing, outreach. So if you have any questions about those after the webinar, you can always look there. We also have different campus information. So for all of the ACM colleges, there's information like different deadlines, different people in the off-campus study office that you can reach out to as well. We have different frequently asked questions. So that's, we have a lot of good questions that you probably have, and if we can't answer those today. And then here's a photo and document upload. So we're going to be asking you to submit a few things like photos from your study abroad experience or a little bio for our website. So just to make it easy for you, you can upload those right to the Google site. And then we have a lot of different resources here. So let's see. We have the calendar. Basically, if you go there, it will show where Katie Rose and I are. If we're visiting your campus, it kind of takes you to our website. We also have different off-campus study videos here. We did those for a couple of our programs, so that's kind of nice. You might be able to send those out to students who are interested in studying abroad. Training PowerPoint, that's where we will be uploading this webinar. And then here you see our student follow-up form. this is good for when you talk with a student on your campus or another campus, so you can kind of send that information to Katie Rose and I so we can reach out to that student. And then here we have timesheets. So this is an example timesheet. Let's see if we want to open that up. So yeah, we'll send this to you, but basically different activities. We have the estimated time frame of how long we think it might take, and then you write how long it takes, and you're paid by the hour. And then communications. Yeah. So you can just kind of look around. Also, as far as photos, because we want all of your beautiful photos, please just make sure you do fill out this photograph and video release form so that we can use your photos for the website and everything like that. Awesome. So let's get back to the PowerPoint. All right. So just a brief thing about each of the activities. As far as communications, one of the first things we'll ask you to do is just upload a photo of yourself to the website and a little bio. So on the Google site, you'll see different information, like it might ask you, what's your favorite memory from studying abroad? And so just to kind of a few quick questions about yourself that we can add to the website so that prospective students can say, hey, look, there is a Knox student who went on a program I'm interested in, and they can just go ahead and email you straight from there as well. We'll be asking you to upload your photos. We'll be asking you to share your stories on our website. So this might be us reaching out to you and asking for a testimonial about something specific that you did or about your program, so that we can share that with other students as well. As far as social media, we would love if you share our posts on Facebook, Instagram, or if you want to post something that's all yours about your program, just make sure to tag us. That's a great way to kind of reach out to more students. And then we just have different projects that we work on throughout the year, so we will be reaching out to you if we'd like any help with that as well. And as far as outreach and recruiting, so we ask that you reach out to at least 5 or more students per term. That can be in person, like if there's a student on your campus who's interested in the program you did, meeting them for coffee. But we also like for you guys to be talking with students from other ACM or affiliated colleges as well. For example, like if you are at Grinnell and you did the Chicago program, but you have someone on your campus who's really interested in the Newberry seminar, maybe you could kind of connect them with an ambassador who did the Newberry seminar from a different campus, so they can connect via email or via the phone, because obviously you are an expert at your own program, and we do want you to know about the other programs, but a lot of times students do just want to talk to someone who went on the program and just really get the student experience. Another thing that I did this past year is I kind of had a big Google Doc of all the students who had started accounts, basically starting the application process with us. And I asked ambassadors to kind of sign into the Google form and choose 15 students to email. So they could do it by their major or by what program they were interested in. But that was a good way to just reach out to a lot of students and see who answered. So a lot of times they want to talk to an alum before Katie Rose and I. And then another thing that we have been doing this past year are student-led webinars. So last year, we had alumni, our off-campus study ambassadors, do different webinars on why they chose ACM. We had one about experiential learning on a lot of our programs. And yeah, so that's just a nice way for students to be able to ask you questions live. Another thing that we will do is we will send you brochures. So there's different faculty advisors on your campuses for the different programs, and so we're going to ask you to give out those brochures to them so that they have kind of updated information. And then also connecting with staff during visits. So when we come visit your campus, we'd love to meet with you and chat with you. And then we ask that you talk to relevant classes, clubs, and other campus organizations. So this is a great way if you're in this class, or for example, if you know of a professor who teaches a class with a lot of first years or second years, or it's in your department and you think they'd be really interested in the program you did, that's a really great way to kind of ask that professor, hey, can I talk 5 minutes at the beginning of class, and kind of get the word out about your program, about off-campus study in general. And also, if you don't have all the answers to every single question, you can always reach out to us or give them our contact information. But it's really good to, if you're in a club or a campus organization like sorority, fraternity, kind of use those connections you have and just be talking about your experience. And, 5 minutes at the beginning of a club meeting to just talk about it and see if you can reach out to some students who might not have thought about studying abroad. And then hang posters on your campus. That's another thing that we will send those to you in the mail. You can just kind of put them all over, in different departments, in different lobbies, etc. All the places where students hang out. And then building campus connections. So basically, Katie Rose and I can't be at all the campuses all the time. And so that's why you guys are the ambassadors to be able to, be there every day and be there to be able to talk with students and also be just talking to different faculty and departments on your campus, whether that's faculty who might not know about the program you did or who are big supporters, just to kind of get the word out. Especially the off-campus study staff, a lot of times they do different panels or events for study abroad. And if you can go and kind of just be a face for ACM and tell your story, that's really helpful for us because we can only be on the campuses just a few times a year. So that's really nice that you can just always be connecting with students. And also we just suggest you meet with the diversity office, career office, Greek life, posse, trio, those programs are at your college. Residence life, we've had a lot of students in the past who have done like a presentation for freshmen who are coming in the residence halls and talking about their study abroad experience. So we welcome creativity, and yeah, these are just a few ideas of kind of how to get the word out about ACM study abroad programs on your campus. And then ongoing projects, basically anything else that doesn't fall into those two categories. Your first activity, your first job that you've done is watching this webinar, so make sure you record that in your timesheet that we will send to you. And then we're just going to have different projects throughout the year. We might ask you to assist with an orientation for new students, so that could be like a pre-departure session for students who are going on the program you did, and so you can kind of give your student perspective. You could be doing interviews to parents, because sometimes, as parents are make the decision a lot of the times whether their student can go abroad or not. So to kind of have something that we could send to other students is helpful. And then possibly giving feedback on materials like handbooks we give out. So these could vary throughout the year. It kind of depends, and if we need your help, then we'll just kind of reach out to you. And then collaborating with Katie Rose and myself. So basically, whenever we are on your campus, we'll shoot you an email, and we'd love to get coffee, hang out, learn more about you and everyone on your campus. We basically work in kind of like a territory model. So for the most part, I work with the colleges in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and Katie Rose works with the colleges in Illinois, Iowa, and Colorado. We sometimes overlap, but that's the general gist. Also, if you're not sure, it's on the website and it's on the Google site. And then although most of the materials you will be submitting to us is through the Google site, we're always happy to chat. We're always happy to talk via email, via the phone. So don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. And what's in it for you? So there's a lot of great things in it for you. If you're interested in international education in this field, obviously that's something that I am in, Katie Rose is in. We're happy to talk about studying abroad, about working abroad after you graduate. We have a lot of experience in those areas, and we're happy to share that with you. Also connect you with anyone you're interested in or any organizations. And this is also a good resume builder. Say you worked in off-campus study and that you're mentoring other students. Another way is you're connecting with fellow ACM program alumni. So students on your campus, students on other campuses. So that's good networking as well. And then, of course, you're earning money. So everyone likes that. So yes, when we send your Google Sheets, just please make sure those are up to date and you're just writing down everything you're doing, so we pay you for everything. As far as logistics, you're paid twice a year, typically in December and June. So basically, you'll fill out a form to share your direct deposit information, and depending on how many hours you worked, we will pay you in hourly. Obviously, it's on the honor system. On there, it says an estimated time. If it takes you a little more or a little less, that's absolutely fine. But we trust you. And there's a cap of 30 hours, so that would be $300 for the full year. And we know that you're doing this on top of schoolwork, and you might have other jobs or, different activities going on. So we understand if you're busy, and if you feel like you can't do a lot, or, you need a little break, or you want more, we're happy to work with you in any way. This position is designed to be very flexible, and that's what we want it to be. So we are happy to work with you. And what can you do right now? So right now you can follow us on social media. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. We would love to have you follow us. And then now I'm going to open it up. We have a few new people who have joined us. I'm unmuting you all. And so let's see. Abby, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to introduce yourself, and then once we have everyone all introduced, then we can brainstorm recruiting ideas.
Okay. I'm Abby. I go to Inter College. I'm an international studies and anthropology double major.
Awesome.
Anything
And
else?
program you went on?
Yeah, I was on the ACM, the Tanzania one this fall.
Yes. Are you with us now?
I'm from Auburn College. I double majored in philosophy and history, and I went to the humanities seminar in Chicago.
Awesome. All right. Now everyone is unmuted. So basically, I just kind of wanted to open it up for if you guys have any ideas for recruiting on your campus, or anything that you would like to do, you have any questions about. This is just kind of open. If you have any ideas.
So I have been talking with my professors about this. Like, something very special about my program is that it's very intensive, is research based, and therefore, like, my professors and I both agree that is more, suitable for students who are a little more research oriented. So, like, from the beginning of the semester, like before this program, I've been talking to 3 students that I met in classes, which I consider potential for the program during the lunches. And I think for this particular program that I went to, one-on-one meetings helpful. Of course, beside that, I can always talk with my professors and ask them to identify potential students. Maybe organize a meeting so all of them can meet.
Okay, sorry. At the beginning, you kind of broke up a little bit. So you're talking about kind of getting together and getting different faculty on your campus to talk about the program that you went on?
Yeah, like talking with them, because I think for the program that I went to is very research intensive. Mm-hmm. So the professors are the people who can identify the best students for the program, I think. And then I'll reach out to them.
I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah. And there are those of you who, hi, I'm Kitty Rose, by the way. I also work with Julie in terms of working with you guys. I was actually serving as a character reference for one of our ambassadors from last year. So if you decide to go get a fancy fellowship after you finish school, you can also put us down, and we will verify that you were great employees. Mm-hmm. And so I thank you guys for your patience as I was missed, it looks like, the whole darn thing. But one of the nice things about you being so intimately familiar with these programs is that you do know, or like, hey, I think that there are, maybe this is one that the diversity and inclusion staff on my campus, they know the most students who might also be interested. Or like you're saying that it's, if it's very heavily research-based, then you're wanting to talk and make sure that faculty are aware of it as an opportunity, because a lot of times they may have heard of the program like 7 years ago, but they're not quite sure what it looks like now or what the benefits like tangibly are for students.
Mm-hmm. And we know you're super familiar with your program, and if you're thinking, what other programs might be research-based and I'm not really sure, that's something that you can talk with Katie Rose and I about. I believe it's also on the Google site. It's kind of programs that are more research-based. So, if there's another program, you can talk about that as well and see if there's other faculty that might be good. But that would be an idea.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else have any ideas or questions? All right. Okay. Awesome. So these are all of our programs. So basically you're an expert on your program, but we do suggest you kind of just poke around our website or on the Google site, just learn a little bit about the programs, just so if you have a student who comes to you and maybe they're interested in social justice, you can know to kind of point them in the direction of Chicago, or if they're interested in like psychology, neuroscience, you can kind of point them in the direction of Amsterdam, or kind of general knowledge about like the different themes of all of the programs.
Yeah, that you're not expected to know, like, I want, like, do they stay in homestays or do they stay in a dorm like I did? Like, you do not have to worry about that level of knowledge for any of these programs besides the one that you went on and then presumably know pretty well. But just sort of the general academic themes. And I will say that there are two courses that have language prerequisites, and that is the Japan Study Program and the Costa Rica Program.
Yes.
So those would be the only two, just as you're talking to students, those are like the nice ones that it's like good to remember and be like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that that one has some sort of requirement. All of the rest of them are pretty open.
Exactly. All right, so make sure you record the time on the timesheet that we'll be sending you this week. And yeah, does anyone have any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
So you said about like campus visits. So do you have plans or specific days for visiting some campus this semester, for example?
Yeah, so
Already?
we actually did some campus visits last month. But the bulk of our visits generally take place in the fall. You think like when all the new students are there, everyone's like really excited that you still go to things instead of being like, I have too much homework and midterms are coming. There might be a few ACM visits to campuses specifically to talk with students who have been accepted but not yet gone on one of our programs. So we have not scheduled those yet. Part of it's going to depend if it's like, okay, there are, 45 students coming from Grinnell, which there are not, but we would then go to Grinnell and be like, what are all of you, what do you want? Like, how can we help making this easier? But as soon as we know those, generally the dates go up on the ACM website, on the Google site, and then we will individually email the ambassadors for the campus that we're going to visit, just to be like, hey, here's when we're coming, here's what we would love to do with you, see if there are any other sort of things that are happening on campus that we could hook into, that sort of thing.
Yeah, good question. Any other questions?
I also have another question.
Yeah, sure.
So just like our job as an ACM ambassador in our campus, like how long will it last? Will it last always this semester, or this semester and next semester, or?
We would love to have you as long as you would like to work with us. Honestly, a lot of our ambassadors stay working with us until they graduate, and that's really great just to kind of be a presence on their campus. So,
and it's one of those things that we know, depending on when you all went abroad, like we always have one or two people who are like, well, I am a senior, and so once you graduate, then sort of our working relationship is done, and then we'll just sort of like what you are doing on Instagram. But past until that point, depending on what your schedule looks like and what feels feasible for you, we would love to be working with you all. And as I'm sure Julie emphasized over and over and over again, that is part of why we built it so flexibly, because we know that there are some semesters when you're really able to participate, and there are some semesters where you're like, I'm overloading and doing my senior thesis, and this is just not, I can show up once. And so we want to be respectful of that. And if you guys like know that you are having one of those semesters, but that in the future you'd be able to help out more, just let us know. We'll work around it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you for the answer. Also, the final question is very specific. So like I talked with some students, and they asked about the program I went to, the research, the seminar in humanities. But they asked me what is the deadline for the program, and I went to the website and I did not see the deadline for the application in the part. So
The deadline for which program?
For the Newberry seminar?
yes, for the Newberry seminar.
You didn't see the deadline, you're saying?
No, I do not see it.
Okay. Part of that might be we are redoing parts of our application, which I think you guys all remember when you applied that like we would have to be emailing you when we got stuff in from like your campus or stuff like that. And so we're changing it so that students will be able to see that. But it does mean that some stuff has moved around on our website. So we will go figure that out. To answer your question, the Newberry deadline is March 15th. However, if a student gets in contact with us and is like, hey, I'm really excited about this, I just sort of found out about it, can I get an extension, that we'd be able to work with that student.
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah.
a lot of the colleges we work with might have an earlier deadline, earlier than the March 15th deadline, but some colleges are more flexible about that, while some are not. So it just kind of depends, but we're happy to work with any students, even if it's close to the deadline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question.
Yeah, okay.
This might be really specific towards myself. I'm an international student, so I was just wondering how I would be able to be paid without violating any of the visa stuff.
Sure. I think we maybe talked about this at Colorado.
Yeah.
And so I believe that we would be able to look at like gift cards potentially. But that is something that I want to like go follow up with our boss about and see if like that's something that I know that all of the international like student services folks on your campuses all have a listserv. So this might be something that we just ask them because again, we don't want to get anybody in trouble, but that is absolutely a concern. But like I checked it with one person, but we're going to make sure that all of sort of the everybody is good with it before we proceed.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Question.
By the way, I'm also an international student.
Okay.
So yeah, you can see that I'm not sure whether it shows in my report, but just a note.
Okay. We will let both of you know.
Yes.
Thank you.
For
Of
sure.
course. Anyone else have any pressing questions?
So this session is being recorded and with like all the presentation, right? So we can like revisit it.
Exactly. So we're recording this. Within the next week, we will send all of you a link to the Google site, and there's a place where the training PowerPoints are, so we will upload it right there. And we'll also be sending the timesheets as well, so that will all be together. All right. We're all good, everyone? Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, all right?
Thanks, you too.
Bye, guys.